Hello, welcome to this session which focuses on stages of marriage. What would we say if I were to tell you that all stages of marriage are actually predictable? The things that we go through as a couple, the things that we battle with, things that have caused so much conflict. In fact, others have even divorced, only to find that whatever you go through in marriage is predictable. Today, I'll be presenting about this and I will take you through the stages, but looking at the numbers. Okay. So when it comes to the first year of marriage, as I've indicated, it's a number for union. Everyone is so happy. You are still adjusting to the new in-laws. You are in the honeymoon phase. That's what we call this phase. Now, what people don't understand that is that this is the year to actually set the boundaries. This is the year to show your true colors. Most couples hide and try to please their partner, but this is to their detriment because later on, what the foundation that you actually laid down in your first year of marriage is the real problem later on. If you do not like certain things, make it clear in your first year. We don't want couples who have arguments such as, but you used to allow this, you used to be like this. No, it's because this person was not truthful in the first day of their marriage. They did not show. For me, eh, this I cannot tolerate. This I can tolerate. So that's why we actually encourage couples to do a SWOT analysis early on in their marriage. That's why it's important to go for marital counseling, premarital counseling early on. While yes, while you are still in love, while you are not having much arguments, go for premarital counseling. But if you did not go for premarital counseling, still in your first year of marriage, while you are still running like a well-oiled machine, go for counseling so that you set the boundaries. You know which part the other partner will not tolerate early on, because we found that most people actually put more effort in their marriage in the first year. They'll be treating their husband, making sure they serve him with a tray. The men will be opening the door for the wife, buying flowers, helping with the house chores. But they did not check that, do you really believe in doing that, or you are just doing it to please your partner? So that's the problem. It's the ground rules are not laid out in this first year of marriage. So what you experience later on actually has much to do with what is happening in your first year of marriage. So that's why we're saying avoid compromising too much, you know, that you even let go of your friends and stuff like that. It's because you are trying to please your partner. But is that what you really want? Because you are supposed to show your true colors in your first year of marriage. Moving on to the second year of marriage, this is a number of partnership. You know, in the olden days, they used to say, whenever there's something that has happened, then call, or there should be two witnesses, you know. But this number can also be for division. I think that's the negative aspect of it. So in the second year of marriage, that's what has been found, that actually reality, that's when reality starts to set in now. And then you start to ask yourself, why did I marry this person? You know? And where were my friends, my relatives, my family? Why didn't they stop me? Some people jump the stage and then it starts to happen in their seventh year. But for most couples this year, the second year of marriage, that's where you start to question, why did I actually marry this person? Through research, it has been shown that most couples divorce in their second year of marriage or their seventh year of marriage. what is important for you to understand is that you must take baby steps. Know that each person is growing into this role. You need to learn the love language of your partner. What is more important in this stage is to master how you resolve conflict, because if you are going to listen to your partner and you are listening to answer, you are not listening to understand, then this stage will become very difficult. But what I want you to know is that it's common to be asking yourself, why did I marry this person? It is expected around the 2 years of marriage. Ooh, and we come to the third year of marriage, where the in love phase is gone. That bubble, not that you no longer love your partner, you do, but that phase of that balloon on that you've been in, or that bubble that you've been in, and reality now sets in. What's more important to understand here is that how you've handled past relationships will matter. It will matter. If you are someone who usually did not have long lasting relationships, it's easy for you to give up. It's because it's become a habit to you that you don't work hard at things. I always tell people that if you can work on a relationship with your mother, if you can put effort on a relationship with your father, if you can put effort with a relationship with your siblings, then know that you must also put effort in the relationship that you have with your wife or your husband. So that's why communication now becomes very important. It's because if you struggle in your third year of marriage, you must know that it's actually a test of how you've handled past relationships. The Trinity nature of God, we hear about it throughout the Bible, especially when God is like, let's make men, you know, someone like us, someone in our image, you know. God understood collaboration. He understood that, it's me, it's Jesus, it's the Holy Spirit. We have to work together. Each party bringing its own ability. So, so even in the third year of marriage, you must know that you must actually work together as a couple. You must work together to actually bring in that unity, that communication, that collaboration. So that's why it's important that in your foundation, it's you, it's your partner, it's God, no other person. When it comes to the fourth year of marriage, as I've mentioned, in this stage, the seasons of marriage, you start to experience all seasons of marriage: the summer, the autumn, the winter, the spring. You experience it. This fourth year of marriage, it's known to be a stage where conflicts arrive. Things of earthly concern, the responsibilities, the finances. Remember, most couples start having kids around the third year or the fourth year of marriage. Some may argue, no, we had kids earlier on. As I've said, remember, you might not actually experience the stages like other people, but this is sort of like a general overview through research that this is the stage where people focus on reinventing themselves. But you must do it now in a way that is beneficial to your relationship. You must share the responsibilities at home, especially the financial ones. And at this stage, stop trying to have a marriage that is similar to what you've seen on TV. You know, make sure that whatever you do is sort of focused on realistic expectations. You know, when you are expecting that kind of marriage, where did you see it? Another person will say, well, I've seen my parents having that marriage. Yes, but now you are building your marriage with the weaknesses the strengths, the opportunities, and the threats that are particularly for your marriage. And then it's important at this stage to do your budget together. Other couples were saying, no, but we've been doing our budget together even in the first year. Yes, but now it's more important. It becomes critical to be transparent to each other so that you can survive the seasons together. In the fifth year of marriage, as I've said, this is the time where you are likely to be experiencing changes. You know, that's why it's important to be patient. You know, when they say love is patient, that's the year when love, as defined in First Corinthians 13, becomes tested. Is your love really patient? Is your love really not selfish, not self-seeking? Is your love really something that does not keep record of wrongs? So that's why you have to stay committed, stay loyal, be loyal to your partner, understand the five languages that Pastor Gary Chapman presents in his book. Does my partner love words of affirmation? Does my partner love gifts? Or does my partner love acts of service? Or does my partner love quality time or physical touch? Find out what your partner likes and speak that language. Speak into that need. In the sixth year of marriage, it's important to reaffirm each other. I mean, you guys have been surviving a lot of stuff. Kids are growing. Try and avoid investing time outside of your relationship. Stop entertaining other people. Don't ignore your marital problems while raising kids. I find that most people actually concentrate on kids more than they concentrate on their relationships. As I've said before in other recordings, what's actually happening is that you are sort of speaking to three aspects as a person in a relationship. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a child of God. But on the other side, the husband, is a father, is a child of God. So I find that most people at this stage in their sixth year of marriage actually become good mothers or fathers. And then they neglect, yes, they neglect the husband or wife duties. So that's why I'm saying don't stop talking or touching. Increase intimacy, Stop being selfish. Serve the other person. Speak to the need of the other person. Because what's actually happening, people then invest time outside of their relationship because they are feeling that their needs are not being met. You know? Remember the 80-20 relationship theory, where most people have been found that they are focusing on the 20% that is lacking in their relationship, and then they are getting it out there, and then they end up losing the 80%, you know? Because it says 80% of your wants and needs from a healthy relationship that you don't focus on, you can end up losing it. In, and we are focusing on the 20% that you are not getting, while the 20% is needs that you can provide for yourself, whereby you need to have the self-love. Some people are actually having a problem of spending time with themselves. So whenever they feel lonely, instead of meditating and getting to know yourself, getting to spend time with yourself, go out on dates alone, and sort of like find yourself. No, they fill that gap. Well, immediately once their partner is failing to fill the gap, they actually find someone else to fill the gap. No, no, no. That's the time to go back to knowing you. Window shop, you know? Work on yourself. Work on your internal person, you know? Address that subconscious mind of yourself. But then they don't do that. They actually take that 20% and try and find someone else to fill the gap. And then what that ends up happening, they end up losing the 80%, and that severely affects the relationship. That's why in their seventh year now of marriage, which is supposed to be a year of rest, God, after He created everything, He rested. Like He used to say, honor the Sabbath, because He felt that whatever you do as a person, you have to rest on this particular day. But that's not what's happening to most people. Most people don't rest. They don't rest in their marriage. That's why they feel restless, dissatisfied with the marriage. And it's referred to as a 7-year itch. You can actually Google it and you'll find that couples all over the world have experienced this, have found that they are feeling dissatisfied. But I want to assure you that whatever you are experiencing is normal. Don't rush to divorce. It's expected in the 7th year. We always say this number 7 is a number of God. Like we even hear about the 3 Hebrew boys when they were being thrown into the fire, and once the fire was increased to be burning 7 times, Jesus showed up. We know the story. But what is happening is that there is this secret to number 7. Even Naaman, when he had leprosy, he was told to go and dip himself in the river Jordan 7 times. Once you touch number 7, it's a sacred number. So the enemy knows this, but most people don't know that. So when they are experiencing these difficulties in their 7th year of marriage, they run and sort of like get divorced. No, it's not for that. You must know that you are actually in the 7th year, and what's happening in the 7th year is that you need more God in your relationship. Have time for counseling. Go for counseling. Rekindle the love. Start dating each other all over again. Just say, we are starting again. In the 8th year of marriage, what I've seen is that most couples, what they experience is new beginning, prosperity, abundance, in that 8th year. And I always say it's not um, something that is new. We must remember that even in the ark, people who survived were actually 8. That's why they felt like, oh, it's a new beginning. They started eating meat, things like that. So this is a recovery stage for your marriage. You've survived year 7. You must remember your vows that you said, for better, for worse, in sickness and health, through thick and thin. So most people, when they don't stay together in their year 7, they actually miss out on year 8. They don't recover. Some who hold grudges of what happened in year 7 actually don't experience recovery of their marriage. They don't experience the renewal. That's because they've forgotten that actually they were supposed to experience this, recover, enjoy this. Just like you make your relationship work with your siblings, parents, friends, colleagues. Invest energy into making your marriage work. This is the year, you know. Go for individual or couple counseling. Go on regular dates. Avoid busy schedules. Year 9. Oof, what a stretch. You guys have survived many storms. Most couples have just survived cheating. Yes. When I was actually doing the research, I found that they say number 1 of the causes of divorce is lack of commitment. People actually do not forgive each other. People actually are too busy and are even too busy to make a marriage work. They lack the commitment. They lack being there. Number 2 is cheating. So by year 9, you find that you've survived the financial storms, temptation for cheating, those who have survived their partners having cheated, they are now saying, let's make this work. People have been retrenched. They've been dead in extended families. Kids are grown, you know. But remember the benefits of security. Remember that the friendship and the commitment is what has made you guys reach this milestone, you know. Never stop flirting with each other. Remember, number 9 is a number of wisdom, you know this. Have that wisdom to make it work. Remember, it takes two people to make a marriage work. It's not up to a woman or it's not up to a man. It's actually each person's responsibility to make it work. Don't neglect each other's emotional needs. What actually happens is that every relationship, if you hear someone saying so and so is cheating, they've actually started by cheating emotionally. In year 10, what is actually happening is that number 10 is a number of completion of divine order. It's a number of responsibility. It's a number of 10 commandments, you know? That's why it's easy for you in your 10th year to feel like you need something different. Yeah, I want change, you know? But for your marriage to last, you need to have acceptance. More than love, you need to have acceptance. Accept that this is the partner I've been given. I know this partner. I am not going to change this partner the same way I'm not changing my body. You know, that the commitment we have to our body. Some people will say, oh yeah, but staying with one person for a long time is boring. Yes, you are staying with yourself, most. You have never changed your body. You have never moved out of your body into another body. So that's why acceptance. Accept reality. Accept that this is how things are. We've been given this number of kids. Accept those things. Accept that this is the house that I'm having at this particular moment. Yes, I may work harder to get another one, but let me appreciate and accept what I have, because most people don't appreciate what they have because they fail to have acceptance. You need to tell yourself, you know, even the serenity prayer says, help me to accept the things I can change and the things that I cannot, you know, and to know, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's a thing. People are failing to accept that this is the partner I have, this is the marriage that I have. Accept the predictable routine that, okay, I have to fetch the kids and come back home. But now you still have to reignite the spark in your marriage. Your sex life should not suffer because of the routine, you know? So that's why I'm saying travel to new places, find an activity that you can do together. Start to appreciate your partner, because some people get too absorbed into the routine that they even fail to appreciate their partner. In year 11, this is a number that is known for judgment and disorder. It's known as the 11th hour. That's why some people find this phase of marriage so difficult. It's because number 11 is linked to lack of fulfillment and imperfection. But remember, no marriage is perfect. At this stage, you must look back and be amazed at all the achievement. You're like, wow, we have a decade together. Celebrate that. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the fact that no one, remember, no one is perfect, but you guys have made it. You know, that is a huge achievement. Remember, when we get married, no one gets married with the intention to get divorced. So invest the time and energy into making it work. Work towards a common goal. Watch your weight. You know, like some people in the 11th day are so relaxed. They're not watching their weight. They gain weight. You know, and both parties. It's not only the woman who's neglecting themselves. Even the men. You feel, you start being complacent. You feel like, yeah, I'm like this. No, no, no. Work on it. You remember what attracted you to a partner. Make sure you still smell good, you still look good. Yes, the giving birth has come with so many changes. Yes, you are starting to bold, you are starting to have umkhaba there, or a belly, but then make sure that you work on it, work on your marriage, invest time, invest energy, look good. And this is the time to actually go back and reflect on your past victories. You already know the setbacks, you already know the weaknesses of your marriage, you know the threats. Avoid reoccurrence of the same battles. How you go through year 11. Number 12, this is the divine government, God's authority. It's also linked to 12 months in a year, 12 hours in a day, 12 disciples. This is a year to remember, why did you get married? What attracted you to that particular person? You know? Do you remember how you couldn't get enough of each other when you're still dating or in your first year of marriage? So bring back that spark, you know? Maintain order in marriage. Avoid comparing your partner to other people. Yes, they are lacking in terms of leadership. Your man is starting to lack a bit, but find ways to remind him. Yes, your wife has lost that oomph, but find constructive words to say it. Don't be like, you are so stupid, or you are not as beautiful as before, or hey, stop gaining all this weight. I'm no longer attracted to you. No, stop the words, because some people don't even mean these words. They're just trying to get their partner to pay attention, so they use harsh words. Avoid that. Bring back the spark. Avoid distractions and water your own grass. Some people don't invest the time and energy into their marriages, but then yet they expect to withdraw, to make a withdrawal. How can you not put money in the bank, but then you expect to be withdrawing money outside of it? So make sure that you say you love your wife more. You say you love your husband more. Respect your husband. Love your wife. You know, be your partner's cheerleader. They've seen that in most marriages, people actually cheat. Like when they are bosses, they cheat with their secretaries. It's because secretaries are normally cheerleaders to their bosses. They understand the stress. They are so understanding. They are so supportive. So we must learn that as men and women to support your partner. At this stage in 12 years of marriage, I mean, partners have been um, promoted so much at work. You might find your wife is a CEO. Support her. You might find your husband is now a manager. Support him. You know, Stop posting so much about celebrities, your past, your partner, your boss, your friends. Oh, my friend has achieved this. Start doing that for your partner. Post them more. You know, be their cheerleader. Take time to cherish and support your partner. People do great things when they are given support, when you believe in them. That works each time. Then organize a child-free trip together. Leave them kids. The 13th year. This number is associated with mourning and sorrow. People are even afraid when they see number 13. But for you, someone who's married, know that this number 13 requires you to maintain your relationship. Yes, you send your car for service, right? Even your marriage, service it. Things won't work out automatically. Make it a priority to support your spouse. Have each other's backs, like I know my partner has my back, you know? So friendship becomes a critical um, thing in making your marriage work. Be honest to each other. Be a team player. Compliment and praise each other for the achievements. You know, most people in their 13th year of marriage have started to be experiencing their midlife, you know? So whenever you feel unfulfilled in your marriage, remember it's not only your marriage. When you are experiencing midlife crisis, you are unfulfilled with a lot of things. That's why people change cars, um, change jobs, change the way they were. You know, it's normal. It's a normal stage. Midlife crisis is normal. It's not your partner's fault. So stop trying to blame your partner. You are just experiencing change in your life. So some people start experiencing their midlife crisis around 35, 40, you know, but some have experienced it even in when they're turning 50. But remember, this is normal. Spend quality time with your partner, not with someone else. Because that's what people do. They invest energy elsewhere and then they start saying, oh, you're not paying attention to me. But are you paying attention to me? Because there's no way that when I'm paying attention, when you are paying attention to me and I'm not paying attention to you, and you find that that thing will still work. We have to pay attention to each other. Don't pay attention to other people who are not your partners. Avoid being roommates, you know? Avoid falling into a routine. So there's an exercise that you can do actually. You can write down why you love your spouse and sort of like put it there and remind yourself. You know, some people find it easy to write why they love God, but they don't write why they love their spouses. Well, do this exercise. It helps. And also always remember there's no one solution in making marriage work. Another person will say, oh, this worked for me, and you might find that it's not working for you. So it's important to be open-minded and try several things, all to make sure that your marriage works. Never compromise your own joy. Always communicate. I am not happy with such and such. Don't cover things, because what actually makes some people struggle, especially in the 14th year of their marriage, is because they've tolerated so much and they are now tired. You know, forgiveness becomes essential. Most couples divorce because of unforgiveness. Forgiveness is important. Number 14 stands for deliverance and salvation. You are supposed to experience this. So that's why I'm saying respect each other. Respect is end. Respect each other. Whenever you are finding it hard to forgive, it's because trust was broken. So make sure that you communicate this with your partner to say, you know what? You broke my trust when you did 1, 2, 3. And the other partner must understand that to rebuild the trust is a process. You can't just expect someone to just forgive you and then all of a sudden they're supposed to move on. You are supposed to constantly reassure them. So in this stage, I'm asking, do you have relationship issues, financial issues, intimacy issues? Address these immediately. Don't wait. You know, kiss more often. Kiss. Some people have been found with they can have arguments in front of their kids, but you'll never see them kiss in front of their kids. Make sure that you kiss more often in front of your kids. Trust me, kids learn more about relationships from their parents more than anyone. That's why most kids will say, I don't believe in marriage. It's because they've seen the negative aspect of it. Yes, in your marriage. So make sure that whatever you do shows the investment, the love. If you want to know what's wrong with your relationship, ask the kids. They will tell you. But oh no, it's the way you speak to mom. No, it's the way you speak to dad. You never keep your promises, dad. You never keep your promises, mom. Kids will actually give you good feedback. So that's why I'm saying go for counseling if things are not working out. And in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, I say, be the change that you want to see and avoid cheating. It may seem, like, oh, it's just a text. No, no, no. Marriage is a gospel you are preaching to your kids. It's not just a text. Will your partner be happy to see the conversations we are having over social media? The 15th year of marriage. This is the stage where I am in 2021 with my husband. We've been married for 15 years. Yes. So all those potholes and humps and bumps that I've been telling you about in the previous stages, we've experienced them. So that's how I know that you can survive them. So that's why even in the 15th year, I had to search and find out what this number symbolizes. It's a year, or it's a number that symbolizes restoration and healing. So the words, oh, live happily ever after, are now becoming a reality. Everyone seems to be getting their parts, you know? But just as you constantly upgrade your skills and performance at work, do the same thing in your marriage. Do that SWOT analysis again. Improve yourself. Your KPAs? Yes. Make sure that you still function well as a wife. You still function well as a mother. You still function well as a child of God. And the husband also must make sure that they still function well as a husband. They still function well as a father. They still function well as a child of God. You mustn't become too spiritual while neglecting other aspects. Be present. Be there. Some people are just married, but uh, they don't even know how their marriage is working out, because one person is the one who's ensuring that the marriage is still together, actually. We must avoid that. Be a man or a woman of your word. Be a woman or a man of integrity. Keep your promises. So here I say continue traveling together is to tighten the bond. The 16th year, number 16 is a symbol of love. Love is patient. Really? It's not selfish. Really? Love always protects. Really? So that's why whatever your partner struggles with, help them through it. Don't be the one who goes out there and be like, oh, that one, she's struggling in debt. Oh, that one has such and such a habit. You know? Remember that number one cause of marriages to fail is lack of commitment. Number two, cheating. Number three, conflict. So when you are looking at this, you will see that by the time the issues of marrying too young, money issues, substance abuse come into play, it's actually because love is being tested. Love covers a multitude of sins. Really? So that's what you are being tested with. Are you going to be able to support your partner through all the phases of their lives? You know, as a couple, always ensure that you go to bed at the same time at night. This has caused so many problems within couples, because some will stay too late watching soccer, some will stay too late working. So these are problems of time management and priorities. So that's why I say don't just have sex, make love to each other, prioritize each other's needs, you know? And never limit intimacy as a way of punishing your partner because we are covering an issue that is not addressed. Address those issues. Continue with date nights, you know? Remember, you are not perfect either. Number 17, this is a good time to New Year vows. Yes, yes, yes. Because 17 signifies victory, spiritual order. But at this stage, most couples find that they are juggling too much. The marriage, work, kids, you know? But use your past victories as your motivation. If we made it through X, Y, and Z, we can surely make it through this season. Make sure your partner or wife always feels appreciated and uplifted. Remember, you are building a legacy as a family. Words like please, I love you, I appreciate you are important. Don't take each other for granted. You know, I was surprised that actually domestic violence rates or ranks as number 7 of the reasons why marriages fail. I thought it would be number 1. But it's when couples actually take each other for granted. It's when couples don't have clear methods of resolving conflict. That's when abuse creeps in. Emotional abuse, yes. Some people even think, oh, we'll wait for physical abuse. No, no, no. Address these issues even when it's still stages of emotional abuse, where people just say words that abuse each other. Financial abuse. Some couples can actually abuse each other financially. We must avoid this. Yes, trust has been broken before, but now it doesn't mean you must now continue now to make me feel insecure or remind me of the past mistakes. You know? So number 18 is a number of associated with bondage and oppression, but also accomplishment and inspiration. It's a number of being alive. That's why most things are allowed when someone is 18 and above. It's because 18, this number, you know, you're supposed to remember what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Remember that difficult experiences only build character. So when you are having those marital problems, you must remember the words that Paul said. Those who get married will have problems. You know, you are having problems and issues with raising kids. The in-laws, cheating, bankruptcy, all these issues are here. All these issues are a problem. But don't allow a dead person, even your kids, to be the center of your uh, of your life, whereby now you have focused so much and you're prioritizing the dead part. Don't allow in-laws to take first priority. Don't allow your kids to take first priority. It's your partner first, then other people. When order or the hierarchy is not maintained properly, issues arise. You hear people saying, oh, I'm only in this marriage for my kids. You can leave us. It's fine. Leave me with my kids. No. Don't neglect one aspect. Don't become a good father to the point that you neglect being a husband. Don't become a good mother to the point that you neglect becoming a good wife. Still continue being romantic. Those romantic gestures, those romantic words are still important at this stage. You know, the way you greet each other after maybe um, after you are coming back from work or a trip or whatever is still important. Stay committed. Your partner is human. They will make mistakes. Yes, they are born again, but they will make mistakes. You know, get a life coach if it's necessary. Go to marriage seminars. Don't be like those people who say, oh, we've been married for this time and this long. We know these things. No. Learn to appreciate each other. Learn to know that each marriage, every marriage has its own problems. Why they're not yet divorced? It's because marriage, or to have a successful marriage, you need to be someone who is willing not to give up on each other. Do not give up on your partner. You need to have that mindset. You need to have that mentality that I will not give up on my partner. Year 19, year of faith, completion, a number of change or beginning. I hope you've heard the words that you are not marrying who your partner is, but who they will become. So that's why it's important that you actually do not focus more on the weaknesses, but you focus more on the opportunities and the strengths of your relationship. Know that a caterpillar will become a butterfly. Know the potential of your marriage, Don't dwell on the past mistakes, but always find something that can fuel you forward, Encourage your partner to grow. Less on the criticism, more encouragement. Remember, faith without action is dead. So you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot expect your relationship to work without investing the right ingredients to making it work. When you are planting a seed, you water it, you wait for it to grow into a tree. Have the same patience in your marriage. Yes, you've been struggling with this thing of saying, well, my partner doesn't see the importance of investing time. Yes, you start by investing time. Sow that seed into your marriage. Because if your partner is not investing time, so as a result, you end up spending that time with your friends. No, no, no. What you say, you must also practice. Invest time in your marriage. Avoid the D word. Whenever you're having arguments, avoid saying, I will divorce you. No, that's not a way to solve your problems. Avoid saying words just to win an argument. Just live. Experience being together. Experience, remind yourself of that time. Because by the time you reach the 20th year of marriage, this is a number that is associated with redemption, cycles of completeness, but can also be associated with suffering. Most marriages are in a dangerous, and I repeat, dangerous zone of comfort. It's a zone of comfort for some. Like, oh, we made it through the 20 years. And then boom, they get divorced. People are shocked. But they've been married for 20 years. Yes, but what has happened is that they reached a level of comfort zone. They were so relaxed. They are no longer putting in that much effort. That's the stage where most men become sugar daddies and blessers. So most people need to look at this. When you feel like you are feeling like you need change, you need that spark to come back, focus on it. Kids are grown. You guys have been focusing on the kids and you've even forgotten each other. No, no, no. Pay attention to each other. Rebuild. Don't take your partner for granted. Rebuild your marriage. Enjoy quality time. Some partners even suffer the empty nest syndrome because some kids are now grown and they are attending university, some are working. But that doesn't mean now your relationship should suffer. Instead of faking things, work on them. Find each other again. I always say, even if it means you need to involve yourself in more charity work, do it. I know that there are more stages. People get married for 21 years and so on. So as I've indicated, this is still work in progress. I'm still going to record more about the other stages. But for now, I've just done the series on the 20 years. This particular series just focuses on the 20 years. Couples, remember, whatever you are going through is actually common. It's more common than you think. Avoid, and I repeat, avoid spending time with people you are not married to, especially people of the opposite sex. You start telling them your problems instead of going to a counselor, be it a counselor at church, be it a counselor that is professionally trained. Go to someone who is trained to help you. Like you send a car to a place where it can be serviced. Why don't you save it to a bicycle shop? You send it to where it can be serviced. You pour petrol. Why don't you pour water? You know? So even for us as couples, we need to know that there are problems that can be experienced, and to solve them requires the right attitude. It requires us as a couple working together to find the right solution. Thank you.